Hey guys, welcome back to Canon Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be ranking my DCEU films. Now, there are only 9 films in my universe because one just doesn't exist anymore. So I'm very happy to bring you guys this list. Coming in at number 9, it is David Ayer's Suicide Squad. I really couldn't get into it, and it was so upsetting because the trailers were amazing. They were so good. And then what did we get? What did we get? And I know that he wrote the script in 6 weeks. I get it. And the stars of the film were really Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and Will Smith as Deadshot. I'm just so upset that we're not going to get more involving Will Smith as Deadshot. I thought he was excellent in the time that we did have him on screen, and his chemistry with Harley was really strong. I also really enjoyed Captain Boomerang. He's one of my favorite characters in DC, actually, and Jai Courtney really killed it, or else everyone else just kind of faded into the background. I really wish it was different. I wish the pacing was different. I did not like Jared Leto's Joker whatsoever. It was so freaking cringy. I couldn't go through with it. I actually wanted to get up and leave the theater multiple times whenever he was on screen. So his version of the Joker was just too much. It made me uncomfortable. He didn't really match Margot Robbie's chaos as Harley Quinn. I feel like he was trying to outdo her. It was weird having them both there. They also didn't really have that much chemistry either, so I'm just happy that is gone. That's number 9 for me, and it's not really a shocker because it's not that great of a film, and I've never gone back to revisit it whatsoever. I've only watched it once in theaters, and that's it for me. Coming in at number 8 is Wonder Woman 1984. I'm really sorry, but it just didn't do anything for me. The runtime was long. There was no need for this to be 2 hours and 30 minutes, especially if I'm not as engaged in the storyline, because there were multiple storylines. I was very confused what the hell was going on. And yeah, it was cool, nostalgia, 80s, yay, cool, whatever, but we got to see a different version of Diana, and I just didn't like the characterization in this film. Yes, she's filled with love and light and justice and beauty. I understand that's what they were trying to embody in this film, and it was all about truth. I completely get it, but it was just really, really messy, and I couldn't sit through it. It was really hard to watch, just because I kept going in and out. And once I check out of a film, it's really hard for me to kind of get back into it, unfortunately. So Wonder Woman 1984 is at the bottom of my list for those reasons. And I also didn't really feel Cheetah was necessary in this film. I think if they saved her for the third one, it would have worked out a little bit better. Because Maxwell Lord was cool. I really love Pedro Pascal. He was probably the best part of the entire film, to be perfectly honest. The CGI also was really wonky. It was so bad. It was just so bad. I couldn't get through it at all. I'm sorry. But yeah, I would have had Cheetah in the third one, expand on Maxwell Lord, and kind of cut down that runtime. Let's cut it down. You can edit at least half an hour, 45 minutes of that movie. It would have worked out better. So unfortunately, Wonder Woman 1984 is number 8 on my list. Coming in at number 7, I have James Wan's beautiful underwater film, Aquaman. I thought it was a lot of fun, especially on the big screen. It's one of my favorite theater experiences. It was just so beautiful, and I think Aquaman came out at the right time, not only because Jason Momoa was cast, God bless Zack Snyder for that casting, because he made Aquaman cool as hell. He looked awesome. And another thing before I get into it, the costume design for the Aquaman suit, the Atlantean armor, all of that King Orm suit, it was fire. They really did an excellent job making these suits and these costumes, and then just adding so much detail to it. I really appreciated what they did with it, And the thing is that as I said before, Aquaman came out at the right time where we do have the technology to make like an underwater film look really polished and really beautiful. The reason why it's this low is that for me personally, it doesn't have a lot of rewatch value. I did enjoy it at the time, but there was just something off about it and I couldn't put my finger on it. It's not a bad film. It's just the fact that like I don't go back and be like, oh, you know what, let me watch Aquaman tonight. Like, that's not something that I will watch. For some strange reason, I don't know. I thought that Jason Momoa and Amber Heard had great chemistry. I love Mara and Arthur in the comics, and they're great together. But everything just, I felt like it was a bit slow too. I just wish they tightened it up in certain spots just because it felt like it dragged on. But the fight scenes were cool under the water. The final war that they had, it was sick. It was really cool. It was like a CGI love fest. And then that whole trench scene was absolutely stunning. And James Wan definitely brought his horror chops to Aquaman, and it looked really sick. I'm looking forward to the next one to see what they do with it. So just a little note before I get into my top 6 here. I did rate them either a 4, 4.5, or 5 out of 5 because I really did enjoy all of these DCEU films. Coming in at number 6 is Wonder Woman 2017, directed by Patty Jenkins. It was such a moment when we saw Wonder Woman on screen. I felt so empowered watching her fight, watching the Amazons fight. The entire scene in Themyscira is beautiful, and I really do feel like they always tend to get Themyscira right, more so than Diana in other locations, especially with Wonder Woman 1984. I thought that the Themyscira scenes at the beginning of the film were really strong, and then I thought that the whole film was going to kind of be matching that level, and then it kind of fizzled out for Wonder Woman 1984. But Wonder Woman 2017 kept the consistency. It is wartime, so there's a lot more action. I really loved Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman 2017. It is one of her better performances, and she is the embodiment of Wonder Woman. And I know that everyone has the same peeve of the third act. It didn't really bother me that much because I am used to like comic book films and the entire like third act madness that usually goes on. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but I just don't really care for that discourse because it is what it is. We've been used to it. We've gotten, 23 Marvel films, and the majority of the time, the third act is kind of messy. I loved Chris Pine in this movie as Steve Trevor. His chemistry with Gal Gadot is like freaking through the roof. They're incredible together. And they had better chemistry in 2017 versus Wonder Woman 1984. Another reason as to why I enjoyed it a bit more. And like, Wonder Woman 2017 has the no man's land scene, which absolutely gave me goosebumps. I bawled like a baby, and other women will understand what it's like to see her out on screen like that and just like go out into the freaking war zone and fight. And it was just so empowering. It really was. It was a moment. And then the score that accompanied it, I really loved that entire scene, and it's really strong. It still holds up to today. Again, it's not one of the films that I go rewatch and put back on and watch it multiple times. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna watch Wonder Woman 2017. I won't do that. That's why it is number 6 on my list, unfortunately. But I did give it a high rating. I gave it, I think, 4 out of 5 on my Letterboxd. So it's not like I did not like the film. It's just the rewatch value is not there. Coming in at number 5, my girls. Bless you, Kathy Ann. It is the Birds of Prey in the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. I had to say the whole title. Why wouldn't I say the whole title? The whole title is cool, okay? It's great. I loved Birds of Prey. I absolutely loved it. I know that there are issues with the script, but watching all of those women kick so much butt on screen just made my heart soar. I loved it. And I got to see my Black Canary on the big screen. One of my favorite moments was when we saw the canary cry on screen. I'm not going to lie to you, I actually teared up and I kind of started crying because it was just something that I've wanted to see my entire life, and then watching her on the big screen do that in IMAX, like it was just Oh, it was a moment. But it was a lot of like, sometimes you need films that have like high female energy, and this is what it had. And it's gotten to the point where it's a comfort film for me. Like I want to see badass women like kick ass here. So like that's one of the films that I would put on. I'm really happy they brought in Huntress. She was so cool. I want to see more of her. Love Renee Montoya. She was a badass. Rosie Perez is an icon. So she came in and it was really cool. And then like Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. She knocks it out of the park. She knocks it out of the park every single time. But I did enjoy the film thoroughly. I thought the performances across the board were fantastic. Ewan McGregor is literally one of the best DCEU villains, and I'm really sad we're not going to get more of him as Black Mask. And then even his side character of Victor Zsasz, Chris Messina, also knocked it out of the park. He was so good, and their chemistry was great. It was fantastic. So it was a lot of fun. Birds of Prey was just fun. I'm so blessed that I was able to watch it in IMAX. And I need a Gotham City Sirens sequel ASAP. It needs to happen. I'm sorry, but it needs to happen. Coming in at number 4. Yes, I said number 4. Number 4, my Shazamly. Of course my Shazamly's in 4th spot. It's in my top 5. Why wouldn't they be? Shazam exceeded my expectations. I did not expect to love it as much as I did. I avoided all of the trailers. I only watched I think the first one, and then I'm like, no, I want to go in blind. I don't want to know anything. So when I went to go watch it, I was howling. Those jokes, every single joke landed. The chemistry between the kids, fantastic. Asher Angel, Jack Dylan Grazer, and Zachary Levi were fantastic together. And I'm so proud of like Asher and Zach, and they were able to kind of build the character together of Billy Batson. They both did such great jobs, and you could see that they genuinely love the character. Jack Dylan Grazer, the kid is such a great actor, and I'm so excited to see him in other things. He's just fantastic. I can watch him in anything. But yeah, Shazam had great special effects, had a pretty good runtime. I was not bored at all while watching this movie. It was very fast-paced, and it was filmed in Toronto. So whenever I go on the subway, I'm just like, oh man, this is where they filmed Shazam. So it was always putting a smile on my face, and it was just really nice to know that. I absolutely love Mark Strong as Dr. Sivana. He is a great villain, and Mark Strong is fantastic. He's just so great. I love everything he's in. Also, like, Shazam is really straightforward. Like, so straightforward. And I gotta give a freaking shout out to David F. Sandberg for bringing some horror elements as well into like this very kid-friendly movie. And it was just like all the monsters that he created, they were really cool. They were really cool. And the concepts of the 7 deadly sins, and it really worked out and made for such a great story. And even Billy's situation about finding his mother, that absolutely broke me. And the one thing that the DCEU does so incredibly well is create these ties to these parents of every single character. They really do add such an emotional depth to these films, and they do a fantastic job. I really, really love them for that. So Shazam, definitely a comfort movie. Thank you, David F. Sandberg. I cannot wait for Fury of the Gods. I'm nervous for Black Adam. I'm excited for it, but The Rock, man, like, relax. Don't kill my kids. Don't do it. Now, my top 3, and they're all interchangeable because I love them so much, is the Zack Snyder trilogy. Shocker. So I will start with my 3rd seed, which is Man of Steel. Now, Henry Cavill is Superman. That's it. I am wearing the shirt today because he deserves so much more recognition. Henry Cavill plays him so well, and the fact that he's been in this from the very start, he really should be treated like royalty because he is Superman. So what I loved about Man of Steel is that we focus on Clark's humanity. We focus on his humanity, about him coming to Earth and trying to live life as a human, even though he's obviously Kryptonian, and he has these changes, and we're watching him grow up, and there are key moments that Jonathan Kent teaches him as a human first, and I think that's really important. It's just the fact that his humanity is what grounds him in our reality, and that is why he's a great Superman. He's a great Clark Kent for that reason. And again, as I've said with Captain America, Superman is a reflection of the society he's in. Right now, the world is really not that great. Still, from 10 years ago that it came out, or like 9 years ago, 8 years ago when it came out, it hasn't gotten any better. So the Superman is a reflection of the world we are living in, and I think that that's why people aren't really like fond of it. If you look at the Christopher Reeves Superman, like that is like Boy Scout Clark, 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually enjoyed the first Superman. I thought it was great. But again, it's a reflection for the time that he's in. It's completely different. So this Superman, Zack knew what he wanted to do with this Superman, because technically, if you go from Man of Steel, BVS, Zack Snyder's Justice League, it is an unofficial Superman trilogy, as we have seen. So this build-up is a very slow build-up, but he has a fantastic arc. So that is why Man of Steel is number 3 for me. Man of Steel is beautiful. It is visually stunning. The score, fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Coming in at number 2 is Zack Snyder's Justice League. I really loved it. I really did. I thought it was fantastic. I know that it is 4 hours. Trust me, I know. But it feels like 2.5, so it wasn't that bad, to be perfectly honest. This is one of Zack Snyder's most well-paced films. And I really love that we had more screen time for each of the characters. I really love that we had a little bit more of Cyborg, who really brought in all the knowledge in regards to the mother boxes, which it was kind of severely lacking in a certain other film that doesn't exist. I loved Wonder Woman in this. I think Zack really nails her warrior style in fighting and characterization. I thought she was excellent in this, and I want more of that Diana if it's possible, because he pulls out a different performance from Gal, and I really love that. Batfleck. What can I say? He is absolutely fantastic as Bruce Wayne, and Zack Snyder brings in the Batman-esque looks and the shots, and they work so well together. There's such fluidity in this marriage, and I absolutely love it. And Aquaman was really great in it. I have to admit, like, I liked him a bit more than his solo film for some strange reason. I thought he was just a bit more menacing at the beginning, like couldn't be bothered, and then knowing the league kind of softened him up, and I really love seeing that. And they became a family at the end of this film. You really felt like they had each other's backs, and I really enjoyed that. I'm not really buying Ezra Miller as the Flash or as Barry Allen. I've really tried to get on board with him, but like visually, Zack did like wonders with the Flash. I thought it was absolutely stunning what he did with it, especially when he was reversing time. I thought it was amazing. And I love the nightmare scene. Was it placed in a very weird spot? Yeah, but like, it was so cool. It was so cool. I didn't mind it being there. They could have fit it in somewhere else. I completely get it, but it was just wicked. That Joker and Batman scene just, oh my God. And we need a Deathstroke film. ASAP. Now, I need it. Give him a series, something. Do something with Deathstroke, because A, Joe looks amazing. And B, that suit should not go to waste whatsoever. So let's get that going. I've been campaigning with everyone since 2017, and it just feels like a huge weight is lifted off of our shoulders. So I'm really happy that Zack Snyder's Justice League was fantastic, and that's why it's in my second spot. But again, like I said, it is interchangeable, 1, 2, 3. Coming in at my first spot, and I know that a lot of people are going to be like, why would this be your number 1? But guys, guess what? It's my number 1. This is the film that made me fall in love with Batman. It made me fall in love with Batfleck. It made me appreciate Zack Snyder so much more. It is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. It was awesome to see it on the big screen. I watched it 3 times in theaters. Now, I have to admit, the first time I watched it, I kind of felt a little bittersweet. there was something that was missing and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then when I went to go watch the Ultimate Edition, it was way better. It flowed better, the pacing was better, and there were scenes that were kind of moved around that made more sense in the Ultimate Edition. That's why I always advise everyone, please just watch the Ultimate Edition. If you still don't like it, that's fine, your opinion, but I still think the Ultimate Edition is worth watching for sure. We got the best version of Batman. I really don't care what anyone says. For me to fall in love with a character that I really didn't care about before, and it worked out. Like, he has the best Batman scene, which is the warehouse scene in BVS. It was incredible to watch that. He has the Bruce Wayne look down. Like, that's the one thing that I really appreciated, is that when he walks into a room, like, everyone takes notice. Like, you're gonna say, damn, that's Bruce Wayne, and that's what Ben Affleck brings to the character as well. So I really loved his introduction. And then moving in, I know that the script is kind of messy. It is, don't get me wrong. It's hard to follow, but at the same time, like, it is explained. Majority of the things are explained if you do pay attention to it. I really enjoyed seeing how the world views Superman. I thought that was a really important piece for Clark Kent and his development and Superman, because he's just trying to save people, and then society's like, but why is he a god? Why does he exist? Why does he need to be here? Is there not anyone higher than him that can tell him what to do? Watching Clark struggle with his own identity and kind of like the detachment of who Superman is as a symbol of hope and how the world sees him is what really just drives this entire narrative. Yes, it's dark. Yes, I understand, but it makes for Zack Snyder's Justice League to be so much better, because when Superman comes back in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he is a fully formed character at this point. We saw him as Clark, we saw him develop as Superman in BVS and what he thought he needed to do, and then we see him in Zack Snyder's Justice League as both Clark Kent and Superman, because they can coexist. And it works out. We have a perfect balance of who he is, and I love that he figured out who he wants to be in this world. So that is why I love BVS, that's why I love Man of Steel, and that's why I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. But BVS will always be number one to me as my most watched comic book film, and it's always going to be number one in my heart, because we saw the Trinity on screen for the first time, and Batfleck just made me fall in love with Batman. I wanted to know so much more about the character. More importantly, I need more Batfleck in my life. Well, there you have it. That is my DCEU ranking. Do you guys think I'm crazy for having Zack Snyder's trilogy in my top 3? Let me know. You guys can always find me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.